So I'll call this meeting to order. Lead
Yep.
Pledge of allegiance.
Those want to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll do the call to order. I'll start on this end and let Blair get his mind in order. Go ahead, Skip.
Skip Severin's alternate.
Glenn Griswold.
John Decker, Board of Selectmen Representative.
Drew Stevens, Vice Chair.
Dirk Rotenheis, Chair.
Danny Arsenal.
Adam Ryan?
Larry Haney, SRPC.
Tracy Stickney, Land Use Clerk. Coordinator Clerk, I don't know.
Great, thank you. So I wanted to just mention, we have a continuance, right?
Yes, there's a request to continue, but there's no technically
No
no
application.
before us. So we have to, I was gonna recommend that you would accept the application as complete and then continue it. But if you have concerns about whether it's, should be in front of you, you could open up that part of the discussion and then amongst yourselves decide if it is properly before you in the sense that maybe it belongs somewhere else.
I would advise not accepting it because that starts a timeline for us. And if once we accept that and other things need to happen, well, I understand there can be some pauses. But my initial review of that means, I think there are some discussions that needed even to get it to accepted.
So one thing to consider though is they did submit it to this board in a proper format. And I think you have a timeline to act on that. So if you don't
That's
think
fine,
it's.
but they requested a continuance and they're not here to present it.
Right, but I'm sort of saying is like either, I guess you have to make a decision either if you're accepting or not accepting it. I think you have to make a vote because you do have a timeline to act on that. And then you have a timeline to act on the actual application, the merits of it. You know what I mean? It's like a two-step process.
Oh, I know,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
yeah. I
So it's just some decision needs to be made about whether it's before you, whether to accept it or not.
We need to make that tonight,
Yes.
and why? The applicant's
Because-
not here.
But the applicant submitted
Requested
it.
a continuance, which we don't have an application. We have an application, but it hasn't been accepted to provide a continuance.
Right, you could vote to not accept it. That's what I'm saying. I think you have to take an action on an application that's been submitted, at least needs to be heard in the sense that, is it properly before us or not? Isn't that, I think you have like 30 days to respond. Or to act on.
Yeah, and when was their application made? And is that 30 days up?
Well, I think they met it was in late December, because they didn't make the 19th, oh, maybe they did make the 19th. But we had to move it to this
So
one
it was
because we didn't have
received,
enough.
it was received the 22nd. So that would have, so they missed the application deadline for this meeting. Application deadline is for December 19th. We received it the December 22nd, so they did not meet the deadline to hear it on January 21st. January 28th.
Okay.
So we do not have to move on this at all.
Alright.
And I mean, I understand that, and we have an application, but we don't have an applicant here. And there are some questions on their application that I think need to get cleared up prior to having a vote to accept it.
Well, what, I mean, I think you can have a deliberation on accepting the application without the applicant here. That's common in a lot of communities. It's a two-meeting process. Because I think you need to give direction back to them. If you don't think they belong here, waiting a month just to come back to hear that they then have to go somewhere else. I feel like the board can take some action on at least giving them direction.
Why do you say a month, though?
Because right now, they're not coming back until the second meeting of February.
That's their plan. That's what they've requested.
Yes.
Okay, I see February 11th on here.
Right.
so- Okay.
I was about to ask the same thing.
But that also seems in line to me if they, our deadline for the January meetings was December 19th. If they got their application in December 22nd, that means they're on the January 21st application deadline. They're just really early for it. And that deadline is for the February meetings, and that's when they want to have it heard anyway. So why are we even considering taking action on it now when this application is, the materials were given to us for the January 1st or January 21st, 2026 application deadline. And the applicant does now want to hear it February 25th. So why don't we just hold off on doing anything until then?
And I do see that, or overheard that some people haven't seen this because they didn't get it in the mail. Right, because we've had a storm and the mail wasn't delivered and somebody doesn't have a mailbox. So I would have apprehension to go through this line by line tonight without having
I haven't,
to review this ahead of time.
respectfully, I haven't received on December 19th. I have an email from Scott.
It's stamped received
And
by the office here.
and
I see no need to move on it today because they're not here and it's not even met the deadline and we haven't reviewed it. We're just unprepared to do anything on this right now.
And the applicant wants to move it to the second February meeting anyway, so it's not like we're doing anything punitive here. We're just doing what the applicant wants. We're just not taking jurisdiction of the application now because it, in my opinion, doesn't make sense to do so.
And we can go through a meeting with myself and you, Blair, with them to go through what might be missing from their application.
Okay.
And do that outside of a planning board meeting, so that if they need to make any amendments to that application information, then they can do that.
sounds good.
Okay?
Yep.
Alright. So at this point, we do not need to continue that. And for those that are in the audience that were planning on hearing case number 26004, site plan review for Crum at 17 Gibig Road, we're not gonna be hearing that tonight. So if anyone's here for that, I'm sorry, the applicant didn't show up, so we're not gonna hear that tonight. If you wanna stick around for zoning amendments, we are gonna go through some zoning amendments tonight, so.
There's no public comment.
There's no public comment tonight. And if you do have comments, you're also welcome to email them into the planning department, and then the board gets those distributed to them.
Can I ask if the agenda for the amendments to the zoning ordinances include multifamily conversion?
Yes. Yes, it does. Let me rephrase that. Specifically, multifamily conversion, no. What,
There is one for multifamily,
but not the multifamily conversion.
and there's no real
Yeah, no, there is stuff.
What are we doing
verbiage
on that?
kind of thing, not requirement. kind of.
Yeah, our zoning amendment number 7, that we've got does include changes to the multifamily dwellings and conversions. That was the one where we had decided that the code enforcement officer would decide adequate parking.
Yep.
Rather than the planning board for
Right.
multifamily conversion.
And a bunch of word changes, basically.
Right.
Yeah, other ones are just,
And
spelling changes. Spelling changes on the multifamily. It removes duplexes from this section, which are addressed in other sections of the zoning. And it removes state statute references to state offices that no longer exist, because it's just an outdated zoning. Those are the amendments that we're gonna go through.
Yeah, I
Tonight.
requested that the board, evaluate conversions as opposed to new regarding certain things like setbacks, because you know, I mean, I think it wasn't Tracy, but I think the former secretary and I had a phone conversation where she even agreed with me that there was kind of a hole in the zoning ordinances in regard to that. It just wasn't really that consistent. Setbacks in particular was a concern I had.
We're not, that's not included in the zoning revisions. It's more of a, get it up to a state standard level
Understood.
and do some cleanup on that. Okay. So the other public hearing we will have, but I'm not gonna open the public hearing part of it, is the zoning amendments. So in accordance with RSA 675:7, the Nottingham Planning Board will hold a public hearing to discuss changes to the Nottingham zoning ordinance. And we have a second public hearing as well as a first public hearing. Both second. This is the last one.
Yeah.
Right. Blair, can you guide us through that?
Yeah, so with the definition section, we decided to remove frontage and remove multifamily development.
Excuse me just a minute. Just wanna make sure. So it was February 25th when they recommended the,
Yep.
change?
Which amendment are we starting with?
Two.
Two, okay.
Oh, that's,
Skip then.
huh?
You gonna sit for Chris? The vote tonight?
Oh, right, we didn't sit.
I'll seat, Skip for Chris.
Yay.
There you go.
You're here.
Here again. Nice to see you all.
Who's got the power?
Guess who's back?
All right, sorry, we can proceed.
Yeah, all we did was remove multifamily development complex and frontage from the list of definitions that were gonna be edited. Everything else remained the same.
Oh, nice. Mike. Thank you, Blair, for making those reasoning changes.
Oh, yeah, we can discuss that after we go through the three amendments.
Okay.
Or four amendments, whatever it is, because that's for all seven of them. I mean, whatever, you can discuss it now, I don't mean to push it around, I just thought it might be easier, but yeah, whatever you wanna do.
I thought RSA numbers would be helpful, but
No, I think it's good.
there may be a reason not to do that.
Yeah. No, I, the only one that doesn't have one, I think, is the last one, because that really actually isn't driven by an RSA change. So does the board like the looks of that new section now of amendment 2 definitions? As I said, everything else stayed the same, it was just we removed those two definitions.
So I do have one question. And I don't wanna be that guy, but, under accessory dwelling unit, in the definition, we have a building or portion thereof used, designed for, or containing a dwelling unit that is an accessory use to a primary residence. I'm looking through both the zoning and subdivision, and we don't have accessory use defined. Now, we do have in our definitions that, any undefined term shall have their usual meaning. I'm just wondering if we want to clarify that or not. Or if that can just be something we push off and say, it's a common undefined term and we're just gonna punt on it.
Yeah, the board could absolutely pursue defining what an accessory use is. One thing to be clear about, I saw this happen somewhere else, someone had a piece of land, they only wanted to put like a barn on it. And that's actually not like a primary use.
Right.
So it's like, how do you allow someone to put a primary use on a piece of land, or an accessory use on a piece of land without a primary use? So keeping that in mind, especially in a rural community where you do have agricultural uses and sort of like open fields and things that people, maybe it's the same property to them, but it's a separate parcel, and we have to view it differently. So sometimes, yeah, so if you do pursue that, I would consider those things, but yeah, that would be my only recommendation on that front. I don't see that changing anything that we have in front of us tonight, but as far as like add it to the to-do list, sure, absolutely. Because the other thing sometimes people do is, especially with ADUs, they might construct the ADU first and then build the primary, the big one in the back later after they've moved on site, they've kind of had a look around. You know,
Could you do that? Get a occupancy
I think
for an accessory, and then what if you don't build a primary?
I think you would just call it, consider it a primary, but
Okay.
like sometimes people come in, like some communities required you to come in and get an approval for an accessory dwelling unit. So they'd show both on the lot, but they're like, we're building this one first. So for that community, it created a problem. You never, even before all this state changed, you never required people to come in except for a building permit, which is standard. So in that instance, yeah, but as you pointed out now, yeah, maybe it's really not a big deal, but it is just something to think about. Because what they could do is just say, this is the primary one until I build the accessory one, until I build the second one, and then they switch.
That's what Milton does.
Yeah, Milton, okay. Yeah, Stratford did that. I don't know
Yep.
what the situation is now, but that's what they did.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think if we started defining the accessory uses, I think we're gonna miss something.
Yeah, I mean.
So I'd rather take it as the terminology that's listed here and
Sure.
let them, or let an applicant argue that this is an accessory dwelling or an accessory use.
Yep.
And let the board consider if that's an accessory use.
Works for me. I mean, it says in our ordinance that the planning board shall have the authority to settle disputes, so. Swords at dawn.
We taking motions on these individually, or we're gonna wait for them all, or
I would,
we're gonna open the public hearing again, and what,
I think last time we did one public hearing for all of them.
yeah.
But I think we did move each one of them to warrant as we went through. Is that right? Am I
That sounds right. I think
misremembering?
we moved each one, not
Well,
in lump.
I move that we send this one, Amendment 2, to warrant article as written.
Any second?
I'll second.
Any discussion in moving this one? All those in favor indicate aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. That was unanimous. You do put the voting numbers on the thing, right?
so number 4, all we did was add the word the.
Yeah.
Someone
then
like
you
to
should
make
be-
a motion?
Yeah, exactly.
I will make a motion that we accept Amendment 4 as written now.
I will second that motion.
Motion is second. Any discussions on the? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate aye.
Alright,
Those opposed, ayes have it. Town Center District.
So my notes, maybe you can help me figure it out, I don't know off the top of my head, it says, I added the word dwelling, I removed the multifamily change, and then I amended the description at the top.
We're gonna need them for the meeting on Saturday.
Sorry,
We're gonna need the zoning board,
for what meeting?
the deliberative section on Saturday.
This Saturday?
Are they gonna be warrants on these things?
Yeah,
Yep.
is that
Yes, so
right?
the meeting is on Saturday.
So the deliberative session?
Right, are these needed for deliberative? Because don't these just go straight to the,
Yeah, I don't think they get,
You can't change anything.
right, we
It
can't
has-
change anything,
So they have to be submitted as they're gonna be on the ballot.
yeah.
yeah.
So we need them by Saturday, before Saturday.
Right.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, and I think Ellen has most of it. So,
Seems a week early.
Right?
deliberative?
No, it's not a week early.
It seems like it is, it's all.
It always.
So it's
feels
this
like-
Saturday?
yeah.
It is the Saturday, it's
Really,
deliberative,
it's in
yeah.
3 days, yeah.
We're cutting it to the wire here.
31st.
Wow.
Perfect timing.
I thought you had them all put together though.
They're already,
I thought
This
that's
is-
what the selectmen was saying.
already in
last
the
time.
draft.
Did I
We
misunderstand?
have
We've sent,
this,
we've
that-
sent some all the way, and this is
Yeah.
the set, the last set.
Right,
I
but I mean,
have-
this is what's going on the warrant.
and we already signed,
This is what's going on the warrant. This,
The reasoning.
I think that's more of a worksheet.
we already signed the warrant
Yeah.
with them on it.
So then, that's what has to be on the warrant, right, John?
you're right, that's the reasoning.
Because the selectmen signed off on them.
But we don't do the full wordage anymore, right?
No.
Right,
Okay.
and I think Ellen's got all the right words.
So,
She can't.
Cause we're doing more.
Yeah, we're
doing
like,
them.
in-
Yeah,
I
well, I
have-
mean, the words that we talked about last, or whatever, I don't know.
But
So
we
she
haven't
got part-
changed
If
it
she
on
had
the top
anything,
side.
it would be from like the first meeting that we ever had on this stuff. Because I haven't submitted anything since we started. I thought I had more time, that's why I asked.
so if the this is the way the timeline goes, if the deliberative Saturday, you can't talk about them on Saturday. You can read them, but you can't talk about it. Nothing could be changed.
I don't even think we read them.
No, we
in
don't have to. I
deliberative,
think that in the past, like Ed might have
Because-
said a couple of things or something, but there's no
Right.
need.
Cause that happens at this hearing is with,
At this hearing,
Yeah.
right?
Timeline.
Yeah,
So
why do
it's
we have
just
the
a space
31st
on the
to do
ballot that we kind of
It wasn't until the town meeting.
don't even talk about.
So the
Pretty much.
BEA's zoning amendment calendar says that the last day that we could post and publish a notice for this public hearing on a zoning amendment was Thursday, the 22nd. The last day to hold a final public hearing on proposed zoning amendments is February 2nd, Monday. So I don't see how, if this is saying that we could have a final public hearing on amendments up to and including Monday the 2nd, I don't see how this Saturday would come into play.
Right.
So I'm just gonna let you know my part of the puzzle. That's what it is.
You said it right.
When I get the slate of candidates, the warrant articles, and the budget at the deliberative session, unless something has changed at the session, someone rewords a warrant article, when they can't change those words, I then have 72 hours to type up the minutes of what was confirmed at the meeting on Saturday. So that means you can't have them done by the 2nd.
I mean, this is what BEA set this out. I'm just reading you to what they
No,
said,
I-
so I don't understand this.
But they might have
Yeah,
their
well-
deliberative session later. Like us.
This is all for,
Mattered for deliberative.
this is for traditional March town meetings.
But when I go to print the ballot, it has to be worded exactly
Mhm.
as it was the day of the deliberative.
Right, and that, it's not gonna change after tonight, nothing is changing. If they choose to change any one of the three tonight, those cannot move forward.
Right.
But the ones that we have done so far have gone through 2 public hearings.
Yep.
And they are ready to pass through. And I can email them to you before I leave tonight. I'm just making
If you
them,
could send it to me and Ellen.
Yeah.
So the version that that will be printed and submitted for everybody to have as a handout, it has to stay that way.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, there's no proposed changes, and I don't think anyone can change things on the fly.
Right.
No,
At
not
the-
without it coming back to a board for a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be.
I guess I was just concerned that you were gonna change things tonight.
This is like the all or nothing tonight.
Like Blair said, if anything got changed tonight on any of these, they'd be kicked off to next year.
Yeah.
They wouldn't go through.
Oh,
So
oh.
anything that goes through tonight is going through as it is because this is a second hearing and these got changed during the
And
first
so then
hearing.
you'll let Ellen know that those won't even be on the ballot then. Cause they have to go
If-
out till next year.
If they don't go from us.
She won't even get it from me.
Right.
She's not even aware that it's being discussed. I will only send her the ones that have gone through 2 successive meetings of without changes.
Okay.
There's the only one she's gonna get. She has nothing from me right now.
How many do you think there might be?
7.
That's not bad.
And they're all formatted based on previous warrants, so you shouldn't have to do any formatting or editing, maybe changing fonts or something like that, but like it's kind of stylized the way I've seen you do your other ones, so hopefully it doesn't,
And the ballot company will decide,
oh, okay,
they have a standard setup.
okay.
And you're only gonna send the top part of each amendment? Not the long version?
I hadn't thought about that,
No, I
yeah, I
think-
guess she really only needs that long,
Only the top
yeah.
part, yeah.
But somewhere it has to be the long version, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
Well-
that was giving me,
so I guess I
question,
wasn't thinking about that, I was just gonna send you the long version and you guys cut it up and take what parts you need.
And on the
I guess
ballot,
I
it's
can
only
do
gonna
it
be
that
the
way.
short version.
Right. And I guess my question is, can you tell what's the short version for what we send you?
I can send
Just send
2
me
different
the
documents.
Yeah, send me the short and both. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll send you 2 separate versions.
Or you could just bold
No.
the short one.
It'll be easier for me to think of it that way than, and send it off to you.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
I'm sorry
Lori.
to interrupt.
Oh, glad you did, thank you.
I know it's been signed, I just wanna read it. This is what I hate about Adobe.
It's not in February.
If you sign the document, you can't
That's
open it
not
again.
right.
Should be first week of February.
Yeah. What's going on here?
Should've looked at it the first time.
I
You
did.
signed it.
Technically, the first.
Alright, so we're on the
Did we-
town center?
Yeah,
Yep.
We're on that one.
we did vote on the last one. We were like in the middle of a motion or did we actually go all the way through that motion?
On amendment 4, that is.
Okay, cool.
Number 4 is good, we just have number 6. Blair was trying to remember what he changed, but
Oh, yeah, that's where we were. Lori, Ellen, and,
On which one? Number 6?
number
Yeah.
6, what he
Remove
changed from the
residential-
last meeting to this meeting, the first public hearing. to
We
this meeting.
removed in the upper part, the part that goes on the warrant, and amends multifamily.
Mhm.
Up to 6 units per structure.
Yeah,
And then we added dwelling everywhere, no, first 3 lines, and changed 6 to 4.
yes, those were it. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
You're a voting member, you wanna make a motion?
Not on this one, no. I might not even vote,
Principled
I may
man.
not even vote for this one.
Okay. Would somebody else like to make a motion?
No, I'll make a motion for that. Pass on amendment six.
Stick by your principles, Skip.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. This might be a tight vote, so it might be a roll call vote. All those in favor indicate aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Unanimously.
I wanna be predictable.
So on to 7. So we relocated this, right? Is that what it is?
So we're relocating it, but. What was the change that we did? I don't have anything in my notes. Jim says no changes. Oh, 2, 4, and 6 were the ones that we were supposed to.
I don't have changes on that either.
7?
Yeah, maybe this one actually didn't need to come back before you.
I was gonna say, I thought 7 got passed last time.
Yeah.
Maybe I,
Shall we move it again just for?
it's on the hearing, I would have a vote on it.
What's it say in our minutes?
Well, if we don't have a
7
record of it and
minutes.
we
Wait,
don't
wait,
vote
wait.
on it again,
Seven.
again.
2, 4, 6, and 7?
No,
It
it
will
says it
address
will
it.
address that.
So maybe,
I'm gonna move that we send amendment 7 to warrant as written.
Second that.
Second. Any discussion on it? All those in favor indicate aye.
Alright,
Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it unanimously.
All right.
Were you still trying to formulate a reasoning for that?
Right, so,
Okay.
yeah, I wanted to get these out to you last week. And I didn't get a chance to address the reasoning, so that's why it appears as it's been consistent through all the hearings. But you all had asked me to look at creating different reasonings, more robust reasonings, and add in the RSAs and stuff. So what you have in that separate document is the reasonings that I can add to these. My understanding is that's not part of the amendment, ergo, it didn't need to go through all this processing that we
Oh,
were
yeah.
doing.
Great.
So, yeah, so what you have is a separate document, that shows, a revised, reasoning for each of the 7. And I was told to state more clearly that, it's a new state law that we're responding to. I chose the words newly revised state law because they're not technically new laws with new numbers.
Right.
I'm happy to change it if you just think it would make more sense to a layperson to just say it's a new law, that's fine. But what you see in here right now is newly revised. So that's one change that's consistent through all of them. And then adding in the specific RSA that is relevant to the zoning change. That's that's driving the zoning change. Now, mind you, in some of them, like for example, the definitions, only accessory dwelling unit definitions are being driven by a zoning change. The rest of them are just being driven by us as a community wanting to update our zoning. So I try to be clear and distinguish where I could. So that's sort of generally speaking about all of them. And then the last thing I did is I tried to be a little bit more robust, rather than just saying this meets the goals of, the town or the goals of the master plan, something like that. I try to be more robust about saying what exactly we're doing and why we're doing it. And if there's 3 changes, I would try to address all 3. So that's sort of generally what you're gonna see through all this. Happy to go through them now and make some edits. Sometimes it's hard to say this clearly in a condensed version. Now that you guys are seeing it for the first time, maybe you could tell me where it doesn't sound clear or
I've just got a format thing. On the first one, you say a newly revised state law, and then you have the RSA requires this change. All the rest of them, it looks like, well, no, not all of the rest of them, it's several of them, move the RSA to the end of the sentence. And I just think that having it right after a newly revised state law, parentheses, RSA, whatever, requires blah.
Okay.
I just think that it's a little bit cleaner.
And certainly consistency is good.
And honestly, that's pretty much the only thing that I'm seeing.
One tiny proofreading note on Amendment 5. We do not need an apostrophe on towns.
Where is it?
We don't want Glenn to get upset. Second line. So.
Ah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, 'cause it's all towns.
Probably shouldn't be capitalized either.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing.
Which one are you guys on?
That was the second line of Amendment 5's reasoning in the middle of it.
Look at this game.
Oh,
I've reread all these things again.
swing your hammer.
I think my brain does the edits without, let me know they did it. Swing your hammer.
There's another one in that, remains should be remain,
Which one?
the very last line of Amendment 5. With requirements remain.
All state
Oh, yeah.
requirements for daycare remain.
Requirements is plural, so remain should be singular.
And just another consistency thing, the home-based daycare, I think in the amendments, we had home dash based. Not certain. Or if it was, what was it? Home daycare facilities. I just wanna make sure that we're using the right.
No, I went back and looked at that one. I think we did home dash based. Isn't that what I did in these?
No,
Did
you
it in the
have home based with nothing between
In which one?
5,
Five.
first line at the
Oh,
end.
first line, yeah, I caught the other ones, but not that one. Thank you.
Alright, so we don't need the all state requirements for daycare facility licensing remains as is in there, do we?
No, I just didn't want people to think that home-based daycares were going willy-nilly, cause I'm saying that you can't require a site plan review or additional regulations. It's like land use regulations, not how many kids per teacher, does the teacher pass a background check, you know? So I just thought I would say that to make people feel comfortable. You're right, it's not a land use issue. So I could just as easily take it out.
Voters might confound it with a land use issue and think that there is a connection there. So it's just clarifying that no, none of that's changing
Right.
from a permitting, state-based licensing thing.
Yeah. Yeah, some people might think, oh, you got a house, you can just show up and start taking kids in and we can't do anything about it. I just wanted to be clear about that, but
Makes sense.
It's reasoning, so.
I would think a better thing would be, this change only reflects land-based requirements. Or something to that effect. Because it says all state requirements remain as is, we don't govern that, so it doesn't seem like that sentence itself would be appropriate. But if you wanna say something like this reflects only land-based requirements or something like that, I would tend to agree with that.
I think the reasoning for that is to clarify it for people who might think that we somehow have some control over, some aspects of the licensing of the daycare facilities when that is all state
Right.
based. So that's just to clarify for the voters that
Yeah,
nothing is changing in that regard, because that isn't part of our purview at all.
I appreciate that, but I also like what Skip mentioned, because we actually don't know if anything did change on the state side.
Yeah, I don't like the word all.
Right.
I just crossed that out. That
Yeah.
needs to go. But
Yeah, maybe that's,
I could see
maybe
that.
that's the easy solution. It's
I could
just-
see something like this,
State requirements for
the state still requires home-based daycare facilities to be certified,
Licensed and certified.
licensed and certified with the state or something like that?
Do we know what that
How much do we
term?
wanna?
Yeah, do we
just
know
get
it's a
rid of all,
certification
get
or
rid of
licensing
S
or?
on remains as is, and it just state requirements for daycare for licensing remain.
I could say other.
Or see the state for regulations. Refer them to the state, see
Or-
the state for
or
regulation
something like
changes or
that,
something
yeah.
like that.
State requirements for daycare facility licensing.
Still
Remain.
applies.
Remain.
I don't know.
Or apply or whatever.
Is still subject to state law. Yeah, requirements for daycare facility licensing are governed by state law.
Yeah, I was gonna say state licensing and certification requirements for daycare facilities still remain.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
All and as is have to go.
Yeah, very absolute, right?
Yeah.
Too absolute
Yeah.
for this.
You get that, Blair?
Yeah, state
Okay.
licensing and certification requirements for daycare facilities still remain.
Yeah.
Um, Anything else?
Number 7. I think we can remove the word state that's capitalized and just say removes references to state offices.
Oh, yeah, that was. State offices, and all. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, looks good.
Looks good to me.
Yep, thank you for doing that.
All right, before we leave the zoning changes, I wanna just make sure we have a public hearing.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll open a public hearing 7:14. And I'll wait maybe 1 minute, and then we'll close it at 7:15.
Sounds good.
I'll close it at 7:15. There's no public, for those audience that's on the television, there's no audience here, so we don't have any public input tonight. Okay. So is there any more motions, or is everything now moved to the warrant?
Yeah, all 7 have been gone through the two hearing process and been moved to the warrant. The only thing that will change is adding of what we discussed just now, the reasonings.
Okay,
Right, which actually doesn't appear on the warrant.
Is that just appeering on the guide, the thing, with the full red line changes?
Yeah, it basically would be this, right? With the red and underlines and all that kind of stuff taken out, right? This would be our complete package that voters would be able to see.
Yeah, on the town website. No, but the red line would remain.
yeah, there would be no red lines.
No, the red lines would be in the guide.
Right,
But showing the final changes that we made versus the existing zoning ordinances being updated, right? That's what's being redlined. What we were looking at are all the changes that we were making as we were working them up, but now the red line would be
the difference
the
between.
difference between what we have currently and what is proposed, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be updated to reflect the edits that you made along the way, But it's still a red line version of old versus new language so that they can see. Okay.
Yeah, I got,
Oh, are you saying like tracking all the changes along the way?
Just clarifying that that is not what it
Yeah,
would be,
no, no, no,
yeah,
no,
okay.
Okay, so we can move on the agenda to the next item. Item 5, which is select board, committee, staff, board member updates. I don't think we've ever gotten to this before 7:30 before, so
well, let me think.
I'll come back to you, Skip. No, actually, you go first, so you have to think quick. Do you have anything, Skip?
CIP is done.
That's been done.
Been done. Nothing, I'm good.
SRPC had a meeting in December with a rather fun staff bake-off contest. But we also went over a lot of really good information from the Southern Maine. I'm not sure what they're called, but basically their version of SRPC. Talking about housing and updated planning and climate resilience stuff. That's pretty much it.
Right, select board meeting this past Monday was canceled due to the storm. The warrant was electronically signed and posted. So they had a makeup meeting yesterday, which I was unable to attend due to a previous commitment. Also, anybody who is running for an office needs to sign up before, I think it closes on Friday. So anybody here that needs to re-up or wants to re-up.
The BioBlitz and Wild Discovery Day at the Marston Recreation Field, scheduled for May 2nd, is coming together nicely. Still kind of in its early stages, but we have involvement from the library, Parks and Rec Department. It's being kind of hosted by the Conservation Commission. There might possibly be Historic Society involvement as well. So it's really gonna be a nice kind of townwide event taking place at the Marston property on that Saturday, May 2nd. I think I might have said March 2nd at first, but it's May 2nd on a Saturday. And there will be more information about that coming out in newsletters and stuff like that as we get closer to the date, but just gonna keep reminding everybody to keep it on their radars.
Got plenty of time.
Yep.
I'll just update on the master plan subcommittee. We've come back from our holiday break. We're setting up a meeting in February. Blair, I don't know which dates work yet, but we'll pick one of those 2 dates. And I do have one draft chapter back in for the historic properties in a draft form. So we're just moving together, trying to get some of those draft things together. We are advancing our housing and our natural resources. We'll come together in the next month and get more updates on that.
I guess if I could
Yeah.
jump back for a quick update related to that, our the vernal pool LiDAR analysis that we got or we're having done as part of a grant that we were awarded from the Piscataqua Region's Estuary Partnership is, I think the contractor is in the stages of finalizing it, so we should be seeing that sometime soon, with, verification, field verification taking place in the spring at an ideal time. So there'll be more info about that too as it develops.
Dan, you have anything?
No updates, I will yield my time to Adam Ryan.
No updates on my end.
There's not much, I mean, it's, the transition from the year, we had some projects end, I got new stuff beginning, but the next Office of Planning and Development, the lunch webinar that they do is in February, and this is on technical review committees. Sometimes they have it's like a meeting in between meetings. It's more than a design review, but not a permitting meeting. It's typically done by larger communities, but it might be something that you all are interested in. It's on the 19th. I'll send you a notice in February, but I'm gonna put it on your calendar. Otherwise, yeah, it's just kind of it's moving forward on SRPC's front.
So if I can just jump in real quick, having done an awful lot of TRCs with Farmington, Rochester, Dover, South Berwick, basically all of the larger towns right in this area. I find them as a professional really helpful because you end up seeing a lot of the any of the technical issues or like concerns from fire or police or ambulance and Conservation Commission or Historic Society or whatever. You end up getting that before getting into the actual meetings. So like what we had tonight where they asked for a continuance because it wasn't quite where it needed to be because of some technical questions, it allows them to be ready for that instead of having to ask for the continuance. And so I just find it really helpful.
Yeah, they can be really good if you have engaged staff that go to the meetings and present and bring up issues and stuff. It can be very, very helpful. It can save people a lot of headache when they go before a board. And yeah, not much else to report on at this moment. I guess I'll leave it there. Anything? Oh, the one thing I do wanna say, there are 5 of the planning land use regulation books, the CLR books. They're supposed to be shared between you all and ZBA, so if you don't need one, please don't take one. If you're new to this board and haven't had one ever, I suggest you take one. If your old one is lost or tore to shreds or something, then grab yourself one, but each community only gets so many. So those are for you guys. They're gonna be with Tracy. If you don't take it tonight, check back with her next week. But they are for people in the ZBA and this board.
Who provides those? Is it the state or?
Well, we pay for them, but the state's the one that produces and prints them. So we buy them off of them and distribute them to our member communities. We usually reach out to somebody to say, at the community and say, how many should we get this year for you guys? And that's typically what happens.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes year over year is like the stuff that we discussed tonight. Like if a state RSA changes, those things are updated, but not, this year we all know it was quite a lot. It was a lot of different changes. Yeah, everything is available online. So if you're not a book person, you can always get the updated stuff online. That's it.
Okay, we got some minutes from the 14th.
Yeah, but
I did not find them in the folder.
I didn't find them in the folder either, but they were mailed to you.
They're mailed to you.
So they're in my,
In the snowbank
under the
somewhere.
snowbank, yeah, alright.
we were sent out by email also.
What's that?
We were sent by email.
Yeah, yes, they were. I was gonna read them by email and
I
then I
found
was
mine.
like, oh, here's my paper copy.
Anybody have any comments about the minutes?
Looks good to me.
Good enough to enter a motion?
Alright, I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of January 14th.
I'll second.
Danny seconds. Any discussion? People reading it real quick if there's any issues?
I'm good with it.
All those in favor indicate aye.
Alright,
Since there's no other business, this meeting can be adjourned,
I move that we do so.
Second.
and it's unanimous.